What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the 740 Sports Show. I'm Eric. This is Bub.
I'm Bob, as always.
As always. And Bub, we are coming off of Apple Festival week.
Yeah, a lot of festivities.
I am feeling the Apple Festival hangover.
I felt it at lunch this morning when I had to come home.
Oh, I felt it at breakfast yesterday.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Great food, though.
Yeah. I skipped Sunday breakfast, and now here we are, day 2 of the hangover.
Yeah.
And
different kind of hangovers.
Different hangovers. Yeah. How was your Apple Festival, Bob?
I went once.
Okay.
And had to watch the parade.
Had to watch the
parade? It wasn't in my
or
plans.
Got to watch the parade?
Had to.
Okay.
It wasn't in my plans. I was going to watch a Buckeyes game at the pub.
Okay.
But I did catch the second half of it.
Yeah. See, it all worked out in the end.
The better part of the game anyway, so.
Yeah. It all worked out in the end. I had a great time at the Apple Festival.
Yeah, you went a few times.
I did. I live for the Apple Festival, and the following week I feel as though I am dying from the Apple Festival. But I had a great time nonetheless. Did you get the goods?
I got everything I wanted, and I came home Sunday, and there was a funnel cake without powdered sugar on it. Tell me how that makes any sense.
What's wrong with you people?
I don't know, but there was no powdered sugar on it. But we did have powdered sugar here, so it's all good. It was still lit, as they're saying.
Okay. Still lit.
Yep, baked steak was on point.
Okay.
And the lemonade was A1, so.
You really have no complaints then.
Okay. Other than having to watch the parade.
Other than the parade. Well, I love the parade. It was phenomenal as always. As it always is on Saturday. And Bub, Friday was a good night too. You know why?
Why?
The Ironmen won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they opened up FAC play and took on the Washington Courthouse Blue Lions and left with a victory, Bub. 1-0 in conference play. You're going to have that water.
Dude, I'm thirsty. I've drank nothing but coffee all day. I live by coffee in the day, and then after I'm done with coffee during the day, I chug a lot of water.
Okay, that's fine. Stay hydrated, Bub. Season ahead.
Absolutely.
Back to the Ironmen.
Yeah,
they
took down Courthouse.
Yeah, took down Courthouse. This game had a lot of hype, Bub. A lot of hype going into this.
Yeah, Courthouse took down Western Brown in a pretty convincing fashion earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Ironmen have kind of hit their stride.
I think
since the Ironman game.
Yeah.
So I was looking for big things from them, and they kind of just delivered on that from start to finish.
Yeah. I thought it was a great performance, top to bottom. I thought Bodie had his best game.
The Wolford brothers.
Yeah, the Wolford brothers.
2 touchdowns each, an interception each.
Yeah. Defensively, I think that unit's coming together as well.
Yeah.
I think that they're really priming themselves right now for a great conference run defensively. They're just focused, man. They look to be focused. And they just seem to be kids having fun playing the game.
A very
right
energetic
now,
bunch.
Yeah, it's a fun group to watch. It's a fun group to listen to if you're listening. But congrats to Coach Hall. Congrats to the Ironmen. 5-1 now. Heading to Miami Trace this week. Miami Trace at Miami Trace. Good luck. As always, Bub and I wish you the best. And 6-1 sounds pretty good, Bub.
Yep.
Yeah. So 6-1 ahead. And Bub, back to Saturday here though. I watched the parade. I had a great time. You wanted college football, so let's talk college football, Bub.
Well, I did have college football on my phone while the parade was going on.
That's true. You did. And that was kind of clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of clutch, kind of looking over at me and giving me the what's up from time to time. So that was nice to keep us entertained between floats.
That's a tongue twister.
That is a tongue
twister. Entertained between, what was it, floats?
Yeah, you can't even remember.
Oh, floats, yeah. I was like, what's floats for? Yeah, we were watching a parade.
Welcome to the combo. Anyway, Bub, Florida State, Clemson, that's how we kicked the day off. We thought this was going to be a fun one. It ended up being a pretty good game.
Yeah, the betting line was really close.
Yeah.
Did I fall asleep? I think I fell asleep at 2:30, which was like right in the middle of that game.
Long Saturday for you, was it? Get a little big steak in your belly. And
it was the drinking from Friday.
Golf. Yeah, you took advantage of a full weekend.
Yeah, we had a fun one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 3-day weekends are awesome.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and fill you in on Clemson, Florida State. This was a pretty good game from start to finish. Ended up going into OT, Bub.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming. I think I was watching it, and I think I stopped at halftime. I can't remember the score of it. For the nap, yes.
Yeah.
And then woke up and missed the rest of the game.
Yeah. Well, that's a great analysis of what happened.
Yeah.
But we actually did talk about this one. We talked about it being close. We actually, as we were kind of taking lines for Saturday's games, we said we're staying away from this game other than
absolutely.
the money line.
Just being at Clemson is scary, and
yeah.
that's a hostile environment to go into.
Yeah.
Clemson's obviously playing with the chip on their shoulder this year.
Yeah.
After the Duke loss, so.
Yeah. But Florida State able to go in and get it done to remain unbeaten on the young season. Big win going into Clemson. That's always a tough game for them, man.
Well, no, it's not like
Clemson's
going to be a 2 or 3 loss team.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But that was a great game to get the day started, and then things got sour for us, bub.
This is the game when I woke up. It was 21-0 in the second quarter with 9 minutes left.
Yeah.
And I knew my bet was lost.
Yeah, Bub and I, we felt pretty good on the 21-point spread for Colorado.
Just
we
a
didn't
lot
anticipate
of points to give a team.
We didn't anticipate I didn't anticipate Colorado with 6 at the end of the game. I really thought that they could get to 21.
That game was pathetic.
But, as you could see, Colorado feeling as though they rebuilding a program,
Yeah, exactly.
Point. It's
Colorado
reality
was
has
such a bad
set
team
in
last year, and for the last 2 decades.
Yeah. So for them to, like I said, Colorado fans, you're good.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yep.
But the Apple Festival was.
The Apple Festival was.
And everybody's got to remember that.
Keep that in mind. They're going to be fine in Boulder. I think I liked the way Dion after the game, just kind of was able to relax. This is the worst we're going to be. I think was his line.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great line to keep his team focused going into next week. They got a tough one next week.
Is it USC?
It's USC.
I didn't know if that was next week.
It's a home game. It's a home game.
That's still a tough one.
Which we'll touch. We'll touch on. He's playing out of his mind right now. Which we'll touch on. But Bub, I do want to move forward in our college football recap just a bit here because we got Ole Miss and Alabama.
Yeah.
And this is a game that I looked at about 9 times before I hit confirm, place bet.
Yeah.
And we got on this one. We bought into Alabama's struggles just a bit too much, and they controlled this game pretty much the entire way. I think Ole Miss got an early touchdown.
It was a close game until the fourth quarter. I mean, the 14-point win for Alabama, it honestly felt like Ole Miss could have done something towards the end there, but man,
it's not old. It's old. It's like
Miss.
It's like Lil Wayne.
Ole Miss.
It's not Little
it's Old
Wayne.
Miss.
It's Lil Wayne. It's Ole Miss.
It's actually just Mississippi. But
anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, I digress.
But yeah, I know one of the things that we talked about was like Alabama. Obviously, everyone knows about their quarterback miscues, but the offensive line.
The offensive line is terrible.
Really having their struggles. And we kind of not really placed the money on that, but kind of that's where we thought Alabama was going to have a hard time.
Yeah, that's going to be their fit for the game.
Yeah,
they've been the worst offensive line in Power 5 football.
Yeah,
and it shows as well.
Yeah. What do we know about that? Are they young? Are they rebuilt? I mean, what do we know really about
Alabama's always, rebuilding, reloading, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know what
went into
problem.
the draft. I mean, what can we think of that went? I'm trying to think of what they lost, what they had.
I couldn't tell you as far as offensive line wise.
I don't really know. If you know more about Alabama football and what their lines experience, then let us know because it looks like
it's atrocious right now.
They got it done against Ole Miss, though. That defensive line got it done anyway.
Absolutely.
Good grief, 10
the defense
points.
played well. Yeah,
10 points. And then there was the parade stopping, highlight-filled game of the night, bub. Ohio State,
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. This was the one, bub. This was the one.
I mean, best game of the night.
Yeah.
You could say Florida State and Clemson, but Ohio State and Notre Dame had a great ending.
This one came down to the wire, man. 17-14 Buckeyes get this one done in South Bend in a hostile South Bend. The green.
The all green for Notre Dame.
Yeah, interesting
cool look. I like the all green.
Yeah, interesting look. You know what Notre Dame didn't like that night, bub?
Having 10 men on the field at the end of the game.
Playing the game with the number of players you're supposed to play. I mean, what a miscue late in the game. They ultimately, cost you the game, right?
Yeah.
I think if Notre Dame has anybody in there, they probably shut that down because Ohio State fought to get that ball across the goal line in that gap with 10.
Absolutely,
So, I don't know.
Did you see Freeman's thought about it afterwards?
I didn't see that, but I did see some Ryan Day stuff, which I know we'll get to.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
The Freeman stuff, he said he didn't want to risk running a guy on the field, and getting a penalty. And I'm like, well, that makes sense because if they don't call it a dead ball, then they get 2 chances, 3 chances at a play.
Right.
So it is kind of risky to substitute that guy in. That being said, you're coming out of a timeout for the last play of the game. You got to have 11 men on the field.
Exactly,
that's bad.
and that's
terrible.
That's exactly my point.
Unacceptable.
I mean, you're coming out of a timeout. That I don't understand how that one happens. Nope. But hey, not complaining. Buckeyes.
No, we'll take the win however we can get it.
Get it done. Get it done where you can. Going into a tough environment. Coach Day fired up after this one, man.
I know.
Loved it. If he could find Lou Holtz, bub.
He would not be happy with
Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz, man. Just lay low. Lay low. Coach Day is looking for you. Stay low. No, man, he was fired up. I was probably as fired up as I've ever seen Coach Day.
I would say awesome. So as well.
Yeah.
I don't really see any time. You always see Urban animated on the sidelines throwing the fist pump.
Yeah.
Dabo's running up and down the sidelines. You never really see Ryan Day super animated.
It's just not his personality.
Exactly. He's just laid back and he's there to coach.
Yeah.
But it is good to see that side of him.
It's fun. Well, it's got good fun. It's just fun, man. It's what college football is about: the excitement, the energy, the atmosphere.
Well, and if you can tell somebody like Lou Holtz to,
Yeah, man. And Lou Holtz, Coach Day's got a lot of respect for Lou
absolutely,
Holtz. Ohio legend, Notre Dame coaching legend. Of course he's got the respect for him. And to be able to call a legend like Lou Holtz out and have that moment for Ryan Day. Congrats to Ryan Day, man. He's earned it.
Absolutely.
I mean, the guy's worked his butt off. He's been nothing other than exceptional. I know we've had a hard time with the team up north.
He took over when Urban got suspended and won the game against TCU his first year. Well, not his first year, but his first coaching gig.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said about Ryan Day. I think that especially in the development of CJ and how that all played out. What we're seeing from CJ now at the NFL levels, probably got a little bit to do with Ryan Day and what they did at Ohio State. So, congrats to Ryan Day, man. That's awesome. I'm glad the Buckeyes were able to go into South Bend to get it done against my prediction. By the way, I will go ahead and say against my prediction.
Notre Dame covered the spread. Just saying, it was 3.5.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Notre Dame, they did cover, but Ohio State ultimately got the job done.
Yeah.
And we're here for the dubs. Speaking of dubs, and keeping it in state here for just a moment, OU, bub. Opened up MAC play this week.
Some action.
Took the show on the road, traveled to Bowling Green, and had a great performance. 38-7 win for the Bobcats. And Curtis Rourke, their quarterback, balled. 14 of 16, 3 touchdowns.
Only threw it 16 times in a 37-point game.
Hey, balled. 38 minus 7,
Do they still run the
31.
pistol?
Huh?
Do they just still run the pistol?
I'm not super familiar with the type of offense that they run. I know that since Solich has left,
I was gonna say
Albin's in there now.
The Tettleton era, I just remember the pistol.
Yep. Not entirely sure what their offensive scheme is, but their defense is playing well right now, man.
I am giving up 7 points.
Gave up 7 points last week to a big Power 5 opponent in Iowa State.
Iowa State, yeah. 10-7.
Yeah, man. So the Bobcats are playing great right now too. So keep that rolling. They take on Kent State. They're off this week, bub, as are the Buckeyes, and OU will will come back to Peden Stadium October 7th for homecoming against Kent State.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. Might even show up for this one. Who knows?
Yeah.
But might make an appearance in Athens, bub. Might be a fun one. 3 o'clock or 3:30 start for that game. And, Bub, if it's all right with you, we're going to take just a quick break.
Oh, that's fine.
Is that good?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk NFL. It was a weird week in the NFL, Bub.
Yeah, it's a wild week in the NFL.
Yeah. The Browns won.
It's always a wild week when the Browns win.
Cleveland! This is for you!
And welcome back to the 740 Sports Show. Bub, NFL. What a wild weekend in the NFL. The Browns won.
The Browns won.
The Browns won. I think that there was some other highlights to go ahead and begin with, though.
Yeah, about 70 points worth.
About 70 points worth of highlights at Hard Rock Stadium this week, man.
McManus was getting obliterated.
I can't imagine what that group chat was like.
My poor guy.
Yeah. Sorry, John. Call off sick till at least Wednesday, probably.
Yeah. Going hiding till next year.
Yeah.
Sean Payton's not the answer.
Yeah, boy. Tua, man, that offense was explosive, puts it lightly.
Dude, they're crazy.
Unreal. You
Speed kills.
texted me at like 1:06 talking about Tyreek Hill, and I was like, yeah, real happy to have him on my fantasy football team.
And he was their third highest scorer.
Yes, yeah. He is unbelievable. That offense is unbelievable. We talked in the preseason about how fast they were going to be. And it's so much better to watch them than I thought it was. I had the Jags on. By the way, put money on Jacksonville yesterday against the Texans.
Oh, yeah.
The 0-2 Texans.
Yeah, CJ, though.
Rough time for me. But listen, turn that game off after the fullback returned a kickoff for a touchdown after he dropped it.
The first one of the year, actually, for any team.
And I realized at that point that my luck had run out for the afternoon. I was just going to continue watching what the Dolphins were doing, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
Man. I mean,
the 70-20 win.
Yeah, 70-20. The Broncos, man, better days. I don't know.
I think the points record was 73.
Was it?
And McDaniels never tried to kick the field goal or anything.
Yeah,
I would have went for it.
Yeah.
You only get that so often, and it's against the Broncos. I would have went for it anytime.
Well, especially because Sean Payton kind of called your quarterback out, right?
Yeah.
You know, last year, this year, whenever it was, about how he would be benched before, you know, so
And
hey,
balling.
Tua's going crazy.
He's an MVP.
Tua's going crazy right now, man. Definitely the front runner.
Oh,
for
yeah.
MVP.
There's
no
no
question
contest about that right now.
No question about that. What he's doing in that offense has been nutty. But yeah, man, I mean, Dolphins balling, man.
3-0?
3-0 for the Dolphins. We mentioned the Browns playing well, getting the win. We also need to mention what that defense is doing right now.
They're stupid.
27-3 this week.
Yeah, gave up 140. It wasn't even 140 passing yards.
I mean,
I don't think it was much over 100.
Yeah.
Their defense is insane. Myles Garrett's just a freak of nature.
That defense,
can't say that enough.
That defense is going nuts. I mean, they're just balling.
Yeah, I mean, you lose Nick Chubb the week before, and you come back and just bounce back, and that's not a bad Titans defense.
No, man, that's a good Titans.
Jeffrey Simmons up front and everything.
I mean, we were discussing that Titans defense or that Titans team to win the division this year.
Yeah,
you know, so I mean, we can't. You know, the Browns are playing well.
It's just, man, you can't do anything about Myles Garrett.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. You know, and the Cowboys, they've got one of those too, you know, with Micah Parsons. But the Cardinals figured it out yesterday, man. They handed the 2-0 Cowboys their first loss, man.
Micah also lost his Robin this week in practice.
Yes, he did. Yeah, Trayvon.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs
going out with the torn ACL. Obviously, played a key factor in this game, right? I mean,
he's one of the top DBs in the league, and for him to go down for the rest of the year, it's going to be tough for the Cowboys.
Well, did you watch any of this game? Did you see? I watched some of this game, and it was interesting. I watched Joshua Dobbs in this game.
Ball out.
He just looked, well, not only ball out, he looked very comfortable in this game.
Yeah.
And I think that Trayvon Diggs not being in the game had some sort of impact on that. Even under the duress of Parsons, Van Der Esch, that crew, he didn't look uncomfortable. He just looked like, I know what I'm doing. I'll get the job done. I won't make any mistakes. I'll get my team down the field, and we'll hope Dallas makes a mistake later.
Yeah. And it's super helpful whenever your team, I think the Cardinals ran for over 200 yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just makes him that much more comfortable.
Correct.
Which is not a discredit to him or anything. It's a credit to the Cardinals running for over 200.
I also, listen, man, we trashed the Cardinals before
the year,
they
were tanking.
Well, right.
Isaiah Simmons trade and everything.
Well, and we also the head coach, you know, the hire, that hire, and some of the things that we saw about him and what that personality looked like.
Yeah, he's that weird, like, he's just like very
he's different. We'll just put it that way. He's different. So we thought, man, the Cardinals are in trouble. They looked unbelievably prepared yesterday.
Yeah,
start to finish in all three phases. I thought they looked great, man. So surprise of the day, I would think. Maybe the surprise of the year up to this point, the way the Cowboys have been playing.
It's not like the Cardinals are really tanking either. They've had some close games.
They
just blew the lead last week.
That's it. They blew a tough lead last week, and then this week like I said, they hand a good Dallas team their first loss.
Yeah, and it was a butt whooping of a game. Like I know Dak almost came down and scored, but it didn't feel that close.
Right. Yeah.
For a game that should have been a cakewalk for the Cowboys, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, Rob McManus,
Get it together.
rough times this week. Rough times. But my team, on the other hand, bub, bounced back a little bit. And I say bounce back having, a big win last week against Cleveland, Monday Night Football. But bounce back in the sense of it, I was convinced, right? Like, I wasn't holding my breath for the defense to make a play all game long. Like, it felt like Steelers football. Now, granted, defense, big plays.
Yeah, TJ
still
Watt
no
getting
running
2
game.
sacks in the first half.
That helps, right? But still no run game.
No, not. They need to play Warren more.
I think so too at this point, Bub. And I hate to say that, man, because I think Najee's a tool, but in this offense, there's just nothing for him right now, man. I mean, Warren out of the backfield looks great. His versatility between the tackles looks good too.
Yeah, man. He's just a game breaker waiting to break a play.
Yeah,
Najee never really feels like he's going to break a play. His big play is going to be 10 yards.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It is what it is at this point.
He's 2004.
He's too patient too.
Well, I mean, he's one of those guys that needs counters and those types of things designed to not. He doesn't need the inside zone stuff. He doesn't need to be waiting. He needs to be one move go.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, Matt Canada his offense doesn't seem to be providing that for Najee. I think Warren's
exactly.
That guy. I liked what I saw from Kenny to a degree. Don't have yards in front of me or anything right now. No mistakes.
Missed a couple passes that I was like, you got to make those.
I agree. I'm glad that you saw those as well. Controlled the game within a degree, and the shots that he took downfield were calculated shots.
Yeah, it's a deep ball to Calvin Austin for a score of the game for them.
Yeah.
Good throw and catch. Calvin Austin's just a little burner.
Yeah.
Birder.
Yeah, he's a birder.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I agree with that too. And like I said, the defense looked good. Special teams, pretty overall, pretty good game from the Steelers, man. I liked what I saw.
Yeah, just a good all-around game for them. Raiders had some moments where they shined in that game, especially with Devontae getting, 13 catches?
Yeah, 13 catches. That was one bet that we won, actually. Took the over on the reception for Devontae.
It was a good week of NFL betting.
Yeah.
College betting was a disaster.
Yeah, college was rough. We flipped the script yesterday, though, right? And that's always nice. And honestly, Bub, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Looking forward to tonight. We've got Philly at Tampa Bay, 7:15 start. Who are we liking in that one tonight, man?
Philadelphia, 100%.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the line on this one?
I don't know the line. My guess would be...
This morning it was 5.
I was going to say it's at
like
Tampa.
4.5, 5.
I was going to say if it was like a neutral field, I probably would have said like 7.5. So if it's at Tampa, maybe take like 3 points off. So I could see it being around the 5.5 range.
What kind of
I
score
would
you
take
got
Philly
here?
covering the spread in that.
Okay, so you got Philly. You got a score for me, Bob?
I would say... I'm going to say 34-20.
I love your score. I got 34-21 in this one. Yeah, I hate to be 1 point within you, but we're going to keep it 100, as the kids say, Bob. Did you cringe?
I always do.
Alright, boy. And then at the 8:15 game, Bob.
Yes.
I know who you got in this one. I don't know who you got in this one. Who you got in this one?
If Joe plays Cincinnati, if Joe doesn't play Los Angeles.
Okay, so if Joe doesn't
play
tonight...
He's a game-time decision.
If Joe doesn't play tonight, who do you have in the Bengals-Rams game?
If Joe does?
If Joe does not play tonight...
No, the Rams.
You think the Rams win the game tonight?
I'm rooting for Cincinnati. I am a Cincinnati hopeful, but realistically, my unbiased take, I would say the Rams.
I know. I'm just enjoying that.
Yeah.
I do hope Joe plays. They're signing quarterbacks, Bub. I don't know if you saw A.J. McCarron.
No, they brought up a guy from the practice squad as well.
I did see that. So, I don't know. That doesn't make me feel good about Joe playing
Well, let's be honest. They never had a great quarterback depth chart anyway, so...
Correct as well. Yeah. But still, I feel like they're...
I don't think he plays.
I don't think he does either. I think the Rams take this one as well. And I think McVay's offense does work in Paycor. I really do.
I don't think the Rams offense explodes or anything like that.
I have the Rams getting 28 in this one, which in Paycor is a respectable number. That's 4 touchdowns. It's hard to do in Paycor. That's the only reason why I'm saying that. I don't see them field goals, anything like that. Nothing crazy tonight. But I do see it 28-17. I got the Rams in this one.
20-10 Rams.
20-10?
Yeah.
Okay, so 10-point game, 11-point game. So we're seeing similar things there.
I don't think Cincinnati scores much if Burrow doesn't play.
It's tough.
It is.
It's
a tough one.
It is.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Too.
I hope Burrow just plays and I don't have to think about any of it.
So let me ask you this then: if he doesn't play, they don't win.
Yeah.
You now have an injured quarterback.
Yeah.
You're 0-3 in a division where everyone's 2-1.
Yeah.
Are you concerned?
Well, yeah, at that point. I mean, you're
concerned
concerned this week right now, 0-2. It's not the record, really. It's the Burrow injury and how long it's going to take to heal.
Right. I mean,
at what point do they just say, shut it down,
right,
go into next season?
Yeah.
But it's also like, then you start wasting years of contracts with people and everything. So.
Correct. Yeah. Man, aren't you glad you're not the one making those decisions?
You'd be making a lot more money.
That you would.
It'd be fun decisions.
Fun decisions. Yeah, it's like real life fantasy football.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not making those decisions for sure.
You can't even pick your fantasy team.
I can't. I've just things happen, and the schedules and the weekends and the kids, Bub. The kids.
Think about the children.
The children, Bub. Looking ahead to college football this week, Bub. Pretty good slate of games again this week, man. A lot of ranked matchups. But we're going to kick it off with one that's a non-ranked matchup. Actually, I'm going to start with Friday here. I'm going to start with the ranked matchup on Friday here. Friday night, Utah at number 10 Utah at number 19 Oregon State. This is a 9 p.m. Friday game, so maybe you get home from the high school game, you turn this one on late, maybe catch the second half of this one. So Utah at Oregon State. Who you liking this one, Bub?
I'm gonna take Utah. Nice win over UCLA.
Yeah.
Oregon State looked like a pretty good team against Washington State.
Yeah.
But I think Utah's just gonna have their number this year.
Yeah.
Is Cam Rising playing?
That's the question for me. I think he's the decision, right? If he plays, I think that's the decision maker. If not, though, going into Oregon State's not an easy place to play.
Yeah, it's probably not the craziest place.
It's
either.
It's not. But they'll be ready for that, especially Friday evening. Out of
Well, that's gonna be a big game and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's going to be a packed place. If Rising's in the game, I like Utah in this one as well. If he's not, though, look for Oregon State to take this one. And then Saturday, great slate of games. We're going to kick it off with the only unranked game that we're going to talk about here, though. Number 8 USC at Colorado in Boulder. This is a noon start, Bub. We're going to get to see Heisman candidate Caleb Williams kick off the day. Who do you like in this one? And
I'm going to go with USC probably by 31.
Wow. Yeah.
What Colorado showed last week without Travis Hunter, he's the heart and soul of that team.
Yeah.
And that line got exposed.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this one gets ugly early, and I think I'm with you. I think this one's going to be a blowout as well. I'm talking 48 to something similar to what we saw with the Oregon. 48 to 14.
Your big Pac-10 shootout game. Yeah. Not like a shootout, but just high scoring from USC.
Yeah, I mean,
late night butt whooping.
Right. That's
early. It's noon.
Early in the day. You're going to see a late night butt whooping.
You're going to wake up to a butt whooping
on Saturday because Bub's going to be taking a nap at 2:30. Rest assured.
Yeah, that's my night.
Yeah. Well, if you're not taking a nap at 2:30, or if you decide you want to wake up for the afternoon games, Bub. Number 24, Kansas at Texas. Number 3, Texas. 3:30 start. Who do you like in this one, Bub? Kansas, kind of a surprising team.
I was going to say, I'm going to take Texas, but I don't think it's that crazy of a butt whooping for Texas. So I'm going to say Texas by 13.
Okay. Yeah, I like Texas in this one as well. But I think, on the other hand, this is the game Kansas gets a bit exposed in.
I will say,
I think they've been flying a little higher than they need to be, and the Jayhawks come back down a little bit. I think Texas wins this one pretty convincingly, something in the fashion of 35-13, that type of game.
Kansas did have Big 12 preseason Big 12 Player of the Year with their quarterback.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. It's not JT Daniels. That's the Florida State quarterback, right? No.
That sounds right.
It might be JT Daniels. He's moved around a lot.
Yeah.
The way they shuffle around the...
Do you know who Texas has?
Quinn Ewers.
Matthew McConaughey.
And Matthew McConaughey.
I'm betting on Matthew McConaughey and the Horns. And then, Bub, 6 o'clock. LSU. Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Another ranked matchup. SEC matchup. Are you intrigued by this one?
I probably won't watch that game.
Okay.
Not that I'm not intrigued.
Okay. Number 13 LSU at number 20 Ole Miss. Not intrigued, but
it's just two teams that I'm really not sold on.
Okay.
Like as being.
I wish you would have told me that you weren't sold on Ole Miss before we bet on them to go into Tuscaloosa.
Well, that's why I'm not sold on them anymore because they lost to Alabama, and I don't think Alabama's crazy good.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna go LSU. I'm gonna say it's a 3-point game.
Okay. Yeah, I think LSU in this one. I like LSU in 6 points. I don't want to stay too close with any there, but I do think it's a tight game as well. Mm-hmm. Then, Bub, this is honestly probably my matchup of the day here. I really am excited to watch this game. Number 11, Notre Dame at number 17, the Duke Blue Devils. And you are super high on Duke. 7:30 game. I think this one's going to be a lot of fun, man.
I think Duke's going to roll away with this game. They're very
What's
experienced.
roll away look like?
I'm going to say they're going to win by a comfortable 13.
Man, Duke's going to hand
Notre
it
Dame's,
to Notre Dame.
I'm not sold on Ohio State's defense.
Okay.
I'm not. I will not be until they prove it week in, week out.
Ryan Day's going to come looking for you. You better be
That's
ready.
fine. I'll get his autograph.
You're going to get his knuckle sandwich.
I'll just be the next Lou Holtz. But I think
You'll be talking about the list by the time he's done with you.
I think Notre Dame's offense got exposed as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Ohio State's defense is that good. So, like I said, Duke comfortably by 13.
All right. I'm taking Duke in this one as well, but I'm taking Duke by a late field goal, 3 points or less.
Really?
I am, man. I think there's a possibility Duke drops this game. I really like what I'm seeing from Coach Freeman. I think that he always has his team prepared.
Except for the last play of the game.
Correct. I will agree with you. I will also say that they made a crucial mistake in a detrimental time, a pivotal time of the biggest game that they'll probably play all year. But for the most part, he's prepared. He's ready. Mm-hmm. I don't see him as the type of guy, regardless of his opponent, to drop back
to back.
So that's the biggest reason. If they win, I think they drop to Duke. I don't see him.
That's a tough back-to-back.
It is.
Though.
It is. It's one of the toughest back-to-backs anyone's going to have all year, if it's not the toughest.
I think you had your shot with Ohio State at home.
Yeah.
I don't think you go into Duke and win that game.
Yeah.
It's tough. 3
points or less for me, or you get Notre Dame by a late score, a late point, something like that, something crazy. Maybe a 1-yard touchdown with 3 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't think Duke's a team to blow any team out just because their offense isn't that caliber.
Right.
But they can comfortably win. They can win with the cushion.
I know what you're talking about.
Get a lead and control the lead.
They control the game very well.
That Clemson game, they only won by 21, but it felt like they were winning by 40.
Yeah, they were in complete control.
Yeah.
They dominated the entire game. Yeah. Bud, we got a great slate of games this week.
No, I'm excited for them.
Great slate of games.
Another good lineup of them.
Yeah, another great lineup of NFL as well. But we're going to touch on that later in the week.
We'll get to that.
We're going to keep it short and sweet for this one. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think I'm good for now.
All right, man. Well, later in the week, we're going to be having another video come out, Bub. Week 4, NFL. We got to give the people what to look for.
A little chicken twofer.
Chicken twofer?
Chicken twofer. Remember at school lunch, they sold chicken sandwiches, the twofer. It was like 2 for 1. You remember the twofer? They remember the twofer.
Do you remember before this segment began, you said you weren't going to say anything?
Yeah, but the chicken twofer was too good.
Anyway, man, we got week 4 NFL. Bub's going to be giving you his lunches and his locks of the week.
I'm giving him a lunch, but I'm giving him a locks.
We're also going to be talking about trap games. Bub, trap games in the NFL, do they even exist?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
An interesting topic given to us by some friends of ours. And also, be sure to just like and subscribe the video if you enjoyed it. Share it if you want to share it with some friends. It's how we help on growing, how we prepare to grow this thing. So if you liked it, just be sure to do that for us. It helps us out. And check out our Instagram if you'd want, at 740 Sports Show. It's worth a follow. We'll have some card things on there, some content on there, and some other goodies.
Yeah.
So no bake steaks.
We didn't get a picture of the bake steak. That's the only reason why.
Oh, that's a shame.
I housed it before we could.
You just one of those.
Yeah, you can't really stop me once I get it in my hands.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Well, anyway, feel free to tune in next time, bake steak or no bake steak.
Yep.
And thank you for joining us this time, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time on the 740 Sports Show. Bye.